Hello, everyone.
Yo,
Hey,
I'm excited. This is a doozy of a week.
Yeah.
this month's books were fantastic. But in case anybody was wondering, you're listening to EMX episode 99. If you can, please do help the show. We do have a Patreon account, www.patreon.com/empcast, where you can sign up for as little as $1 a month and you get nifty things like early access to our EMBS episodes, where once a month we just kind of get together and talk about all things pop culture, games, mostly movies and TV shows that we've been watching. But when you sign up, you get pretty much access to that instantly whenever they release. 30 days later, it goes out to the rest of the public. You also get cool things like sketches from our friends of the show. If you subscribe long enough, you can get custom toys from Viet and, cool stuff like mugs and t-shirts. So do us a solid, sign up, helps us keep the bills on, as well as helping us ship stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, actually our boy Richard, who's supporting us, should be getting a mug today. Or getting a mug
Nice.
this month. He hit that 6-month mark. I may just wait till close to his birthday. To be like, what is this?
It's Mug Month.
Mm-hmm.
Not that much longer to go.
Yeah, we need to send you an EMP mug. Thatcher.
Yeah,
I don't even
true.
have an EMP mug. Corwin has one.
Then, well, I was gonna say then you should have one, and then I should have one. Like you should have one. I don't know if Alex Smith has one.
I don't think Alex has one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
like Bobby and you, Corwin, I think have one.
Now that's tragic that Bobby's got one. Nothing against Bobby. I'm just saying.
He's the one that actively asked for one, so it's just like, okay.
Oh, I get it. So you just ask for things you want, and life just gives them to you.
Sometimes.
Sure thing, millennial.
That's not how it works.
I mean, for everyone that's not me, it feels like. But that's that's Gen X talking right there.
Wait a minute. Aren't you Kickstarter backed author Thatcher Cleveland?
That's true. Things are, admittedly, things are turning around. I wouldn't say everything's coming up Millhouse, but it's like it's like right there,
Millhouse adjacent.
Yes. Yes. Millhouse adjacent.
Yeah, so before we get started, anything you guys want to get into? How's everybody been?
It already feels like the year is over. Like it's so weird. Like September hit and then it's like boom, October. Feels like the year's like already like gone.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost coming to a close. And we're gonna hit episode 100, guys.
Yeah.
That's a harder thing to believe.
Yeah.
I should we should try to get because Tribe 1 was busy moving earlier in the year, because that's usually when we have the episode with Tribe 1. I should text him to see if he wants to come on.
Yeah, we should. He'd get a jolt out of these books.
That would be good. Yeah, because we're in. It's good segue because we're really getting into some interesting territory here with the big overall X-Men saga.
Heading towards an ending.
Yeah.
As well as a beginning, but you can definitely feel it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the one thing that I've been doing this month, two things. I started my email newsletter again. So people got some people that were on my email newsletter that I haven't updated since 2018. So I put a new one. I put new newsletter. Who dis? Yeah. So that and I've been like a lot of my art friends are doing like October is usually good for like kind of daily art posts, usually like kind of prompts and stuff. And I never really participated because it was pretty much like nothing I do really I can do get done in like a day. But I got these Marvel United miniatures, and so I've been trying to paint those and post those. I have like 20 between the Marvel one, I mean the Avengers one and the X-Men one. So I'm gonna try to get them all painted by the end of the month.
Nice. And then I'll come over
cool.
and I'll swap my blank ones with yours. And then you can all over the X-Men one.
Then I gotta do them all over again.
Well, that
Yeah.
way you'll have gotten like your first draft of them out of the way. And then like you'll really know. You're like, nah, this is how you paint Storm's hair. I thought I learned halfway through last time, but now I got it. I got it.
And then I'll come over again and swap them back.
No, then it's
It's just
my
like-
turn.
Yeah.
I've actually been playing. My youngest actually really likes the game, so we've literally like been through every of the regular scenarios of the 4 villains that were in there. So, and I like the fact that each villain has a completely different feel and gameplay.
Yeah, and then yeah, I mostly bought them just because the miniatures are great. But yeah, the game actually looks. I played it once, and it actually is pretty fun. But yeah, I backed like the entire thing. So like we just kind of got the early shipping Thatcher of just like the first X-Men game. But there's like at least like 4 or 5 different expansions.
Oh no, there's like 8.
Oh yeah, there's like 8 of those, but then like there before that was like the Marvel. I mean just like the main Marvel superheroes version. And I think I sat there and tried to count. It was something like 300 characters or something like that. It was just something ridiculous, and that we're gonna get in March. So I'm just
That's insane.
I was like, maybe I'll just cancel all my commissions and just paint miniatures from now on. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
That's even in my youth, I was too unsteady of hand to paint fantasy miniatures. I can't imagine what it'd be like now.
That's my worry too. It's like, what happens if I mess it up?
Yeah.
You just paint over it.
I mean, yeah, there's that. Again, way to just offer up an easy solution, Viet.
Yep. It's the elder millennial in me.
All right. Well, we should probably get this pony rolling down the road. So, welcome to EMX episode 99. As we mentioned earlier, I am Thatcher E. Cleveland, specially backed Kickstarter person. I guess I forget how Corbin put it, but I'm I'm all right. I'm doing okay. And with me, as always, is Viet Huynh.
Hello.
And the aforementioned Corbin Kroll.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so folks, if you're for some reason not familiar with our format, then check this out, because this is going to be 1 hour of uncut, uncensored, and unscripted conversation about the X-Men books from September 2021. Watch for spoilers, because we're just diving right in, and hang on to your seats. We are starting right now.
Boom, button pressed.
And I didn't even have my tablet out with my comics ready. So I really set myself up for failure on that one.
That's what teammates are for, because we are talking about the, as you said, X-Men books for September 2021, and oh my goodness, what a month we had.
Yeah.
Three major books coming out, which we'll start once Thatcher picks his first pick.
Yeah, I
You know
read,
what?
I think all but like 2 or 3 of these like today.
I had just started reading them earlier in the week because I was like, I think the Inferno came out, didn't it? Yeah, I should let me pick those up and start reading those because I have a feeling, it's going to be something. But yeah, a lot of books were really good. I don't want to dive into the big heavy stuff right away, but let's do New Mutants 21 because there's a lot going on in that one. Let me get my stuff up here. All right, New Mutants 21, written by Vita Ayala, with art by Rod Rice, and letters by Virtual Calligraphy's Travis Lanham, with Joe Caramagna. Um, man, this this issue is wild, guys. Like, if it wasn't enough to have a surprise brood attack on the moon,
Hmm.
all the stuff with
Gabby.
yeah, it all really kind of comes to a head, and same with Rain and the Shadow King and all this stuff. It's like all of a sudden this just got kind of cranked up to 11, and I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, and how messed up is it that like Tempo was pretty much like, I was like, oh yeah, we need to resurrect Gabby. Cool, let's go, let's go do that right in front of Wolfsbane. You're just like, wow, for
Yeah.
real? Is
There's
that's what we're doing?
yeah, there's a lot about resurrections this month. I feel like that's sort of like a common theme that is kicking across a lot of the books. Um, because yeah, I mean, this is another one where again, before people had said, clones, whatever, but then they're still bending their own rules as to who is useful to bring back. But yeah, at least the five got a chance to be like, no, oh yeah, this kid's dead. No, that's cool. We can all actually run this ourselves. We don't really need to fill out the paperwork or nothing.
Well, they put it in writing towards the Quiet Council to consider changing things
Hmm.
since the different people are showing up as different individuals in the Cerebro system. So,
Yeah.
but with Rain, I think she needs to be more understanding. Yes, her son's missing and all, but there is no proof that he's actually dead.
Right. And with Gabby, there was a body. I mean, the body literally was brought to them.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Sure, it's shambling along Weekend at Bernie's style,
Yeah.
but it's right there.
And I completely forgot about the brew thing. And then I was like, oh yeah. Like Brew is like king of the brood.
Yeah, but it's funny. I feel like I hadn't seen him on Krakoa at all.
We haven't seen him since he took over. He's been MIA, really.
Okay, so I'm glad it's not just me being all, oh, I just must have missed that. I mean, I guess any debates as to like whether or not he specifically counts as a mutant have already been talked out.
He is a mutant brood.
Yeah. I mean, much in the same way that they would say Warlock is, a mutant phalanx type person thing. Whatever that. Yeah. But this issue was very cool. It was cool to see James go all ape shit on some brood.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool that they were the four of them at the end are like, you know what? Yeah, let's take it to this fat man. So I'm really interested to see how this all unfolds.
And then I mean, you look at that last page on the New Mutants, and you're like, "What? This guy's evil? What?"
Yeah.
surprise Pikachu meme.
What? It was him all along? No
Again,
fucking way.
again, if the character has ever had spider legs, you can't trust them.
Yeah. It's over. Then it's over. It's
Yeah.
just over for them.
Yeah, spider legs equals no good.
Yeah.
Love the Rod Rice art too, man. His stuff
Yeah.
is just.
I was just thinking as the pages are flipping by that I'm just, I hope that this team is able to stay on this book for a good long while, because I think they have a really excellent handle on it as a title that stands out and is like very unique in the lineup, and also showcases a lot of typically overlooked characters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it just I mean, granted, I loved the early Hickman stuff. That was insanely hilarious. But this, yeah, I'm like, all right, this is where it's at.
Yeah, and it also made me wonder. Thunderbird hasn't been resurrected, right? John Proudstar? Is it John?
Yeah. No, I think he even sort of alludes to that.
Yeah, like he mentioned it in his his journal, so that's got to be addressed, right?
Well, there was no Cerebro wasn't doing backups at that point in time.
Oh.
So he would be one of those kind of like Sebastian Saw was saying, send a Cerebro unit back in time to capture the data.
Okay.
There is no backup of him.
Yeah, because like I was sort of thinking that I was just like, but wait, like John Proudstar, like he died like classic X, like Giant Size X-Men #1, right? Like
correct. Yep.
Yeah.
With the new team.
And I was just like, but wait a minute, but how, like, there had to have been a Cerebro because like Professor X wouldn't have been able to find them without Cerebro, right?
Right. But remember, it wasn't until he met Forge where he started making the backups.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, that's gotta suck.
All right, let's keep it moving. So we'll as Thatch said, we'll stay away from the big three for a little bit. Some big decisions to make, but I think I'm going to pick S.W.O.R.D #8.
a non tie-in.
Yeah, for a regular issue.
Thank God.
Al Ewing writing. Gayu Villanova on art. Fernando Cifuentes of Photobunker Studios on colors, and VC's Ariana Mayer on letters and production. And this is just a day in the life of S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah.
And what it means to survive on Arakko, the former planet of Mars, and the challenges Storm faces, being part of the council and how the whole council on Arakko works. And let me tell you, it is bless you.
Son
It is cool to see the other side of the council, how they work on this planet here, but Storm is almost in a fight every day of her damn life here.
Yeah.
And at one point, she even throws out with Tarn the Uncaring, which we all know his character from Hellions and how wicked he is. But still, at the end of the day, Storm is Storm. I mean, you just really, nobody can deal with her.
Yeah. He's just like, all right, game recognizes game.
Yeah, Storm, as the kids say, Storm has she has understood the assignment about being in charge, being the regent of the solar system. And yeah, I mean they absolutely sent the right person for the job up there. Because again, it's like, Tarn's like, oh, I've taken away your powers. You're nothing. It's like, really? You're going to threaten me with losing my powers? Okay. Sure thing.
Yeah. You weren't around during the 80s.
Yeah. I had a mohawk and a knife, and that was it.
I was queen of the Morlocks, motherfucker.
I'm surprised she really didn't pull out more than one knife. I was expecting like 6 or 7 of them to just come out of nowhere. It's just like, oh,
like that. Yeah, like that one. There was that was an issue a while back, wasn't
it?
Yep.
Just knives everywhere. It also, and we'll get to this month's Hellions probably, but this is almost. I feel like this Tarn the Uncaring is very much more of a like, oh yeah, like this guy's insane and he's really powerful. Like I'm like, okay, I get it. Like why he's, everyone's like, oh, shut up, Tarn is coming. Come on, man, tuck your shirt in.
Yeah, dude is super scary.
I love this line. Challenges fall like rain or blood.
Yup.
Yeah. Pretty. I would not hate it if the majority of this book focused on, Storm running shit on Arakko.
I don't mind if they just dip in every 2-3 issues, just come back to this, because the whole S.W.O.R.D and the space system is a really big thing. I mean, I don't mind them playing with the whole cosmic stuff and then coming back to Arakko every once in a while. I don't know if, Storm can carry a book monthly and all, but it's. I like the fact that it's treated like dessert. It's just every once in a while here.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, yeah. Storm's still kicking ass.
Yeah. Well, as we see in Marauders, business picked up pretty quick on Arakko.
Yeah.
So enjoying it. This book is fantastic. The art here was just a little unsteady. Certain pages were just a lot rougher than others. And it starts out great, and then as you go along, there's some shaky stuff in there. But
yeah, Storm's face isn't drawn consistently. Yeah. Like you compare like the last page of her like in the in the rain versus like even just like the panels above it, like they don't look the same.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
it's almost like he tried to draw the is she Wakandan? The girl with the earrings?
Oh no. No, she's Iraqi.
Okay. But it's like he accidentally drew her and then was just like, oh crap, that's supposed to be Storm. And then it's like, oh, let's just throw some white hair on.
Or that there's or like he was basing it on different reference photos or something.
Right.
Oh, you talking about when Storm was fighting herself?
No, like just on the close to the last page when she's like out on the balcony and
that is supposed to be her. Yeah, that is supposed to be her.
Yeah, that's supposed to be what?
That is her. That is her past self.
Oh, okay.
The Mohawk version of herself. Yeah, that is supposed to be. But I understand the art is just so and so. Sometimes it varies in this issue. It fluctuates a lot.
Yeah.
It's like they had 2 different artists, but I don't want to take up too much time on this. But it's fantastic stuff. But I'll pass it over to you, Viet.
All right. I want to just pick this one, merely for this one this one portion, we'll just throw X-Force 23 in there, by um by Benjamin Percy, and who are our team?
It is Martin Kokolo on art and VFX colors,
And
with letters by Joe Caramagna.
yeah, I mostly just want to point out, there's a portion where Black Tom is talking to Beast, and he talks about his about like something like tickling his kidney stones, tickling his Winkies or something like that. And I was like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, this is again Beast being awful.
He's getting his comeuppance finally.
Yeah. And I don't know, we're getting a little more of Mikhail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably one of the better X-Force issues lately, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly just talking about yeah, when he was just asking him, does this feel like kidney stones tickling your Winkies? And tell us more about the leprechaun stowing away in your meat pockets. It's like, what? Oh.
Got that crazy talk.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that finally, like, they're bringing everything together. Everything from the cerebral sword to the white, what's she called? The white lady, or I forgot her name.
Yeah.
The lady from Wolverine when the series first kind of launched.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're kind of tying everything
The
together.
pale girl.
Pale girl, there we go. It's all starting to come together, but I don't know, Beast's dumbass. It's just like,
yeah,
the nesting doll thing. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to destroy it. There is a good reason for it, but no.
Yep.
He has to dissect it and figure it out.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, and I don't know if this was revealed earlier, but I feel like this was the first time that we found out who was, specifically like, oh yeah, this is who was trying to steal those logic diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also why they wanted to do that.
Well, we knew the cerebral sword still carried data in it. There was like a text page about it back in probably like the second issue or third issue of X-Force after Xavier died and Magneto turned the helmet into the sword. So they've been seeding that for a while.
Yeah, but I guess they don't have a way of accessing the data, or that's what they need the logic diamonds for.
That was my understanding, was that was why they needed the logic diamonds, was to get through, to decrypt it. And yeah, it's
and what's with this story? Like, what is with this like the story at the end, and then of course, I guess Colossus is.
I think this guy controls people or helps makes people act in the way Mikhail wants, is what I think.
Right.
So Peter might actually be a spy, unwillingly, unknowingly. I don't know.
Or it could also be why he hasn't really been in anything, because they're writing him as like, he decided to take a rest. And they're just like, all right, yeah. He's like, I don't want to mess with my brother. I don't want to have him out there.
Or I don't know. Isn't Mikhail's like trying to keep his brother out of it?
I'm gonna put down Weed Time as a episode title though, in the running for episode titles.
Yeah, I was just like Kidney Winkies. Was it like this could be a title?
Kidney Winkies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, IES. All right. So is it back to me then?
Yes.
It is
back to
you.
Oh, Jiminy Jillikers. Oh gosh, let's do one of the big ones. Big in number 1, Trial of Magneto number 2. So let's see here. Trial of Magneto number 2, written by Leah Williams, with art by Lucas Wernick, colors by Edgar Delgado, and letters by Clayton Cowles. This is a wild ride, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's weird how they refer to the Avengers as like their first human guests. I'm like, didn't you guys just throw a party with a bunch of regular people, including these guys?
Well, that wasn't on Krakoa.
Oh, it wasn't? I thought it was on Krakoa.
Nope, that was Emma's little island place that she got from Namor, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But yes, the Avengers arrive, and of course,
who doesn't love a good Magneto versus the Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
Things were definitely not going to go well. We knew that already.
Yeah. You got a Synthezoid, you have Iron Man.
And the guy with the metal shield.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't save him in Avengers versus X-Men, but that's history.
Right.
And then
art kind of goes up and down with some scenes in here. It's weird.
Yeah. But and then at the end of the issue, she just shows back up.
Well, let's break down what this really is here, because we know that they have a backup of Wanda. However, it's very old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if the scene between Magneto and Hope here when she wakes him up is the fact that she's going to resurrect Wanda. But we don't know for sure. With the way Magneto suddenly decides to go with the Avengers after all this fighting, it's like he knows what's happening. He's trying to keep them away, but he's also taking the blame. It's obvious, like, well, let me not say it's obvious, but it doesn't really seem like he knows anything of what's going on. Like he really killed her or not.
Yeah, and especially Hope getting him up and kind of making it seem like she's ordering him. Or at least it came off that way, that or she like
uses powers on him or something.
Yeah.
I'm still like, it's been so long since I've read anything with her in it. I still don't have a particularly good grasp of what her powers are.
She's a rogue. She can just copy people's powers. She can use any power in her vicinity.
Oh, okay.
And amp up people around her. So she's a amplifier and a
she's like Rogue and Fabian Cortez almost.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah. But yeah, like so maybe I was like, did Hope kill her? Like, did Hope kill Scarlet Witch?
Maybe she just decided, like, she went, no pun intended, she went rogue and decided to
just resurrect
Scarlet Witch? Just do it, just do it herself, and then be like, and that maybe that was why she was like, oh, don't let them see the body, basically as a way to sort of like protect the secret of resurrection. Because, like if the Avengers see the body and then they do decide to bring her back, or they do bring her back, then it's like, hey, I know this happens like every few days in our business, But for our records and paperwork, how exactly did she come back to life? And they're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So even the fact that, especially when he takes Kyle prisoner, it's just like, what are they doing? What? Magneto was definitely playing it up for him to do something like that. But I guess I'm more annoyed at the shade that gets thrown around sometimes, even though him and Polaris once again have a back and forth. And I love the fact that she states that she has her PhD. So hopefully Havoc finally got his paperwork together as well, because those two are working on those things since the early issues of X-Men.
The good old days.
If there's one thing I can say I don't like is they don't give us much clues as to what the hell is what really happened. It's like, yeah, you bring in the Avengers, of course they're gonna have a throwdown or Magneto versus everybody, but where are the breadcrumbs to help us get to the solution of what's going on?
And they might be there. We're just not catching them.
Catching it.
Not making it, or it not being obvious.
I'm having some, well, I'm going to say, I was going to say that it's possible that the Scarlet Witch's resurrection and her being killed are sort of like two separate, like they're not from the same person. Like Hope may have just gone rogue to bring Scarlet Witch back, but she didn't have anything to do with her dying. Or, I mean, it could be something bonkers, like,
like Amazing Baby.
Yeah, well, no, I mean something like,
I know.
Her basically like having Magneto kill her specifically so that she can be resurrected with the old backup, so she doesn't remember any of the like years of horrible bullshit she's been through and done to people.
At the same time, there was no guarantee the council would let the resurrection even happen unless he planned on going rogue on his own. Well, here we go, that word again. But still, let's plan on just, doing shit on his own.
Do you think
and that could be, what he and Hope were talking about when she's like, but Viet, go ahead.
I was like, do you think this is our elaborate ploy to get Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch back to being mutants again?
I had that thought while I was reading this, and I was like, if they're able to do it, hats off to them. Because I mean, I'll go one further and be like, they should never have not had them be Magneto's kids. Like that didn't make any sense to me either. But
Yeah, and there's got to be something with this diagram that I just wasn't able to catch. But
yeah,
guess we'll figure it out. Good on you, Leia Williams, for not making it obvious.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you guys think there's anything? Is there a hint there with Magneto waking up in his black uniform and then showing up in his red uniform, fighting the Avengers?
Yeah, he's not an evil. He's not villain form.
I'm in my chaotic neutral form.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not Magneto the White. I'm not Magneto the Black. I am Magneto the Red.
Damn, that might be a good tell if I could fix
that. He's like, all right, you guys remember me in the classic duds, so fine. You want classic duds Magneto. You're gonna get classic duds Magneto. Okay.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah,
let's take this old school. You want to go old school? I can go old school.
Yeah.
I should be like 100 years old, but I'm not. So whatever.
All right. Let's keep it moving then. Back to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
How go with X-Men number 3. I mean, there's so many good choices to make, but let's go with this. We've got Jerry Duggan writing, Pepe Larraz on art, Mate Gracia on colors, Clayton Cowles on letters, and another standalone issue where the High Evolutionary has come to the X-Men with a gift.
Speaking of the Quicksilver Scarlet Witch retcon.
Exactly. There's some gold in here. Of course, yes, retcon, which was some of the remainder run of Uncanny Avengers, which is why Rogue carries this grudge, and the High Evolutionary's quote unquote daughter. But I love his evolutionary guard. The Tesla Fent. Do you guys know the story behind the whole elephant Tesla thing?
Yeah. And the fact that he yells, Tesla fan remembers Earth's mistreatment of elephants and Tesla. It's so dumb.
So for the listeners,
in the best way.
For the listeners who don't know, they executed an elephant by like electrocuting it to death, I believe is what the whole story was. I'm sure there's other stuff in there, but it was also to prove some scientific fact or something like that.
It was actually to discredit Tesla. They killed the elephant so that they had it set up in a thing like, if I remember correctly, like Tesla's, free like current and everything. But they also they basically electrocuted an elephant to lie and say that Tesla's way of proposed manner in which to deliver electricity was too dangerous.
And that was another this was another idea for episode title, is X-Men Love Elephants.
But interesting things going on with Synch and High Evolutionary, where he wants some of his DNA.
That's not gonna come back to bite them in the ass.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. But the scene with him and Laura here was very kind of
like, aw.
Yeah, you can feel a bit of something going on between them there. It was quite nice, quite interesting.
Yeah. Also, too, God damn, does this book look good?
Yeah,
exactly.
What the fuck? It's almost painful how good this book looks, and just the way he's been able to, there's been so much wild shit that's going on in the first 3 issues of this series, and all of it has looked spectacular.
Yep.
Agreed. And I love how in every issue they have to eat with the people they save.
Yeah, he's eating with the Vietnamese people.
Oh, and the pictures. I'm probably going to try to use this art here where they're taking the selfies and they're all making funny faces.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I hope this is a running gag where they stop and eat with everybody.
And some time, yeah. And the noble game played by Scott and Jean to decide. Rock, paper, scissors.
And we get more Orcus and Gyrick.
He's making it run, isn't he?
Yeah, I like that they are keeping, that's again one of the things that I really enjoy about, the whole slate of books in general, is that they've done a really good job of they're not beating you over the head with the internal continuity, but it's there in a way that makes logical sense. Like the thing with the logic diamonds, they talk about it in Wolverine a bunch more, but we're going to reference that, this was for the Russians, and we're going to talk about that in X-Force because that's where we've been talking about the Russian shit. And then there's even, this book and the whole like autopsies and stuff that they have of like proof of Scott's death. But then you also have in Inferno sort of like seeing the back end of them compiling all that stuff.
Thank you so much. We love the Avengers.
Yeah, the Vietnamese folks. Yeah.
All right, we got about 20 minutes left. I know we got a lot to cover, so Viet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do we want to do? Yeah, let's just jump on to X-Men Onslaught Revelation #1.
Yes.
Written by Cy Spurrier, art by I can never read. Is it Bob Quinn?
Quinn, yes.
Yeah, Bob Quinn. It's so hard to, for some reason.
Tartaglia on colors and Clayton Cowles on letters.
Yeah, like when I have it on like this full screen, it's hard to read the text. But yeah, I was expecting this to last a lot longer, but I'm kind of glad that it was addressed very quickly at the same time, because I didn't read. I probably when I was kind of doing like a reread, when I was just reading all the X-Men books, I stopped right around the Onslaught saga because
why would you do that?
Because Onslaught saga. So
I like how two of the most egregious Marvel comics in the 90s things are having a resurgence right at the same time. Because, like, here's Onslaught, and they're putting Ben Reilly back in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, fucking cheers, I guess.
Yeah. Isn't this is probably kind of more of a technical thing, but like isn't like the isn't her knife like the same, like the soul knife isn't that the same as the soul sword pretty much?
Yes, it's made out of her soul, smaller piece of her soul. Yes.
Is this like so magic? You ain't got nothing.
yeah, she should have been able to do the same thing if we even know what the hell she is at this point in time. But yeah, she should have.
Pixie. Why can't I think of her name? Pixie. Yeah. But yeah, this I was just like, how dare you make me kind of care about Fabian Cortez? But yeah, but like the whole deep circle, like they needed Fabian Cortez basically just to get lost to forgive him. And then the whole deep circle of like, I'm always in the shadow of the most powerful person. And then even in the end is like, wait a minute, so I was still second to saving the day.
Yeah. You gotta keep that motherfucker humble, you cannot don't give him an inch. But I know what you mean about, like, I was kind of surprised as I was like getting toward the end of reading this book. I was like, oh, so this is going to be done. Just we're ending this right now, huh?
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
I really thought it was going to lead into some of the stuff going on in the trial of Magneto with why people are acting funny, but
like, and then it kind of led me to lead to like, couldn't have this just been like Way of the X #6? Or
oh yeah, that's the thing too. Is like this. Why did this need? Was Way of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was a very strange um way of going about this.
It would have been 2 more issues. Just a little
Yeah, I mean
exercise.
it's extra sized, and I guess you are sort of like going for. I mean, they're going for the nostalgia dollar, rather than have it be Way of X 6 and 7, or the double sized issue of Way of X that even though it says on the um, cover, oh, Onslaught's back, like make it a one shot, try to, trick people into thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be, because it's not a standalone issue.
Yeah, definitely isn't.
By, like you can't, like that's just crazy. Um, but I mean, it's still good.
Yeah.
Like, like weird trickery aside, I like that they, have a big thing and then are able to sort of resolve it relatively quickly. And it'll be very interesting to see what's the new book going to be called, because I know, didn't they announce a title for it?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
They
okay.
announced the title for the team, the Legionnaires.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And what a
I want
team.
I wonder if they're checking with legal. They're like, can we do a book called Legionnaires? I mean, just like run it up the just. What if it's X-Men Legionnaires?
But
Just ask. Just ask.
Look at the team. These are Sai's like favorite people here. Of course, you're gonna have Legion, but you've got Doctor Nemesis. You've got Forget Me Not. You've got Nightcrawler.
Oh my God, forget me not.
Exactly. Patch, in case you don't know, he's a person that if you are not physically looking at him, you'll forget he exists completely.
Okay.
Kind of like in real life.
Blindfold, which I don't know if this is maybe something to do with Legion, but she's a precog, which is usually a no-no for Resurrection. So, she was a love interest for Legion. So, very interesting stuff. And of course, the ending skips 2 months later and gives you these clues of what's going on, what's happening. So, fantastic.
Which is interesting. I just realized that what's his face? Shadow King is in the background on one of those panels.
Stacy X.
And dust. I mean, I just see those dust particles in the background.
I like the fact that Nightcrawler's answer to the thing is a mutant culture. They're holy. Well, not only that, but his defense against how does he say it? He's a darkness inside us, and I think it's time to be honest. We cannot be a people without first being people, imperfect and impure. We must accept and share we must accept our share of this shadow. So yeah, I like how his whole thing, his mutant religion is not really a religion, but it's kind of just culture and accepting, and his little group is to help defend that mutant culture. So I like it. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it's I'm glad that they're still doing these sort of like short, purpose-driven mini-series to keep sort of to touch on all the different aspects of what they've created.
And Murder by Rave seems like a 90s thing.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if they're like, hey, we're doing like 90s villain. Let's have them die in the most like 90s way. Can he like recreate like a psychic limelight or something?
Yeah.
All right. So is that to me?
Yep, back to you.
All right. Well, I feel like the time has come. It's
Yes.
time to stop pussyfooting around here. Of course, I have to find it in my list of comics first. There we go. Not a lot of comics begin with I. Um, but yeah, we are doing Inferno, written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Valeria Schiti, colors by David Curiel, and VC's Joe Sabino on letters.
Oh man.
Jiminy Jillikers. There's a lot
Someone
going on
remembers.
here.
Pepper's
Yeah.
Farm remembers.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop the timer here. Let's go.
Yeah,
Got 13 minutes, but
because
still, stop the timer. Let's do this.
so there's so many I feel like there's so much stuff in here that they haven't actually shown, like the fact that they just have been continually sending more people to Orcus to try to destroy it.
Yeah.
At least 15, 13, 14, 15, 16 times at least.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's wild.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we found out, because in the last book we were talking about, Magneto being resurrected was something that we've never seen. So I was a little bit confused with, okay, how did Onslaught get his hooks into Magneto? But right here we learned that Magneto tried to pull the whole Orcus Forge into the sun and end up having an aneurysm after 6 hours?
Yeah.
6 hours of trying to pull it into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I missed that.
So there's little background things we'd never seen. Well, actually, it was 30 minutes. He dies of aneurysm, but then the second time he tried to pull it into the sun.
And the whole thing of and the twist of Moira not wanting to save mutant kind at first.
Yeah, it really made me want to go back and read the original Big Ol' series.
It's fairly close. There's a couple extra scenes compared to the original, and I'm really thinking that in the original was Moira's point of view, and maybe this one here is either Destiny's or somebody else.
Or Mystique's, yeah. But yeah, like the whole burn her slowly so she doesn't forget what failing to change feels like. God damn.
Yeah. I can see why Moira's not a fan.
Yeah.
And
it really, and of course, and we get horticulture. I mean, they're not doing stuff, but they're there, and I think that's beautiful.
All comes together, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just. By the way, when did Magneto get super into Cthulhu decor?
Oh, that's Octopus Hind. That's back in the before X-Men 150. Remember when Cyclops went missing at sea with
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was wondering. I was going to say, is it a reference to? Yeah, when he had he did have sort of like that weird squid palace that he'd taken over in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, that's pretty funny that they're taking it back that far.
And I'm going to rewind us a little bit back to Orcus and Nimrod with how he's been dispatching X-Force over and over. I love that they did throw the Brood at them as well at the station.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got at least 6 or 7 Wolverine skeletons there, adamantium skeletons. It's like there has to be a reason that they keep sending Wolverine in there. This has to be some kind of booby trap. Why? It's like, okay, I could understand maybe 2 or 3 times, but it's been like 6, 7, 8 times that they keep sending X-Force in there, and Orcus is just literally racking up adamantium skeletons.
Yeah, they are camped out at the spawn point and just like
I'm wondering if they're to send somebody to regenerate it and have like 10 Wolverines attacking or something. It's just like it's got to be some kind
or
of
like,
setup.
well, because when you think about it, too, well, also it's strange to me, and I'm sure they've explained it, so we probably don't need to get into it given our time constraints. But it's strange to me that when they regenerate Wolverine, they have adamantium for his bones.
Mm-hmm.
Seems a little odd.
No. Forge has a full vat of adamantium, and at one point Wolverine had some kind of plan, which they've never actually explained what the plan was that he's asking for Forge. But
maybe that's what this plan is.
Maybe
is that like again like their Trojan horsing stuff in his adamantium skeletons.
Or Magneto's gonna play like puppet master with a bunch of Wolverine skeletons.
He's like, I've also put webcams in all the foreheads.
Yeah.
So he's gonna move them around. Like it's insane. Because also too, it's like if you send Wolverine, I mean, granted, everybody's dying, even Magneto, but Wolverine's like really hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically. So yeah, well, that's the thing is like, I'm sure, I mean, maybe that's what they're counting on, and that's what their whole Trojan horse plan is.
Yeah.
But
or
at the same time,
Wolverine could eventually heal up or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have like 10 Marines running around.
You would have the early 2000s.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that's just one of the many aspects of stuff going down in this issue. Here's the thought that I had just as we were skimming through this. The Professor X and Magneto resurrection that we get at the very beginning of the book, before all that data stuff, do you think that's a flash forward?
Probably. I mean, that's exactly what happened with the House of X. It's exactly how it began.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. See, this is why I wanted to go back and read and reread those, because there's going to be so much Easter eggs you're going to be able to pick out now.
And speaking of things to pick out, so this whole flashback with Moria and Destiny and their history, the whole reason why everything went down back in this life, which is, I think it's supposed to be her third life, the whole reason why things went down is because Moria engineered a way of turning off the X gene of curing, quote unquote, curing mutants.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at current day after this flashback, she has her notebook again, and it looks like the same notebook that was burned. So how did she get this notebook from her third life unless she recreated it and it's just old? But there's burn marks and stuff like that.
I mean, Muir Island has been blown up so many times it's second only to the X Mansion.
It's the same project with the same people from her.
Well, she could have been working on it in this lifetime as well. Or there could be a way that she was able to like reconstitute it from memory. But yeah, no, that's a good catch. That's definitely see, there's so much just levels on levels with this.
Yeah,
it's
like
wild.
She could be part of Project Orchis, probably.
Yeah, she could be.
Yeah, like that, and that's the thing, is that it is interesting how he's really leaving you in the dark as to like, is Moira's ultimate plan, like, is she still just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna erase all mutants, and that's why I want Destiny not around, because she can prove that, or like she can thwart me, like I'm going deep cover on this life.
Well, it's not even Destiny alone. Any precogs, anybody that can tell the future, they're not allowed to resurrect. So
Yeah. So I mean, that's again, that's a big, right. And then the whole like, since she's there at the end, who was the one that brought her back?
Yes.
Like who, again went rogue.
And then
Uh,
we have a little scene with Cypher and his wife Bay, and it's like, they're already casting doubt on her.
mm-hmm.
Let's see how that works out. But
Yeah.
And I mean,
Bishop.
it's yeah, like, well, yeah, I was about to mention Bishop. Like, Bishop is a time traveler, so he knows a little bit about knowing the future and things like that.
Well, I think they could play it however they want it, but I think we passed his point because remember, according to him, Jubilee was the last X-Man.
Right.
So, but him taking over from Cyclops, Captain Commander.
Mm-hmm. See, that's why I'm glad that we're really sort of spreading our wings more with a lot of these titles and showing, and then it's like, okay, we don't have to have Cyclops in everything. We don't have to have Wolverine in everything, and so it gets, I mean, the depth of X-Men characters is quite frankly insane. So, whatever opportunities you have to showcase more people. And yeah, it does sort of feel like like this really is that turning point, because it's like you've got Bishop coming over from S.W.O.R.D, you've got Psylocke coming over from Hellions, and we've got these other new titles that are kind of on the horizon. It seems like we're getting ready for a big shakeup.
Yep, and Bishop from Marauders.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't the case, because that would be super lame. But what if Destiny is Children of the Atom Girl?
I thought about it too. I was going to mention it. What if it is actually just a shapeshifter to just pick us up at the end of this issue?
That would be such a letdown, but
yeah,
like, because they did interact during the gala, and I was just like, I hope that's not the case.
She's a bit of an X-Men fan. I don't know if she'd let Mystique talk her into something like that. It could be another shapeshifter, but I don't know, or something. I mean, there's really a few ways to look at this. Either Xavier,
actually, I mean, or it could be Hope.
Or it could be Hope. Xavier and Magneto don't trust Moria, and then did this anyway to see if they can help control the future is one way to look at it. Mystique figuring out a way of doing it on her own is another, because of course you've got Solemn, which we didn't really touch on the Wolverine book. I mean, there's cradles out there. There's ways around this that people are circumventing the Quiet Council with stuff. So
yeah.
Like that's the thing, is like this is not a very secure network, because like literally twice this month it's like, oh yeah, the helmet got stolen because this happened.
I was a little bit freaked out in Onslaught where he was deleting the backups. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like, are they gonna get rid of the whole because I mean, that's because ultimately, when this status quo is over, which, I mean, we know how this game is played, it's going to be over at some point. You're gonna have to, like, it's just kind of funny to me that it's like, oh yeah, the X-Men die a lot. Like,
yeah.
Some of it, like with the Orca stuff, they're really sort of like playing fast and loose because they know they're gonna get resurrected. But like, just in the stretch of this status quo, I feel like we've seen more characters die, and then get resurrected than like we have in a while, like in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's like, man, people, it's like, these guys can't, I mean, granted, I was the one that was like, if you get a hangnail, then you just shoot yourself. and then you come back and you don't have the hangnail anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is it'll be very interesting to see where everything lands once, because this is Hickman's last X-Men thing, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, he his 3 years that he was supposed to be on the book, he only got through the first year of stuff, but I guess he's got other things he needs to move on to. So
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got that big yeah, the other series that he's doing for that place.
So many questions, so many possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And they even have a wellness report on Black Tom of all people here.
Yeah, I was going to mention that when you were talking about him for X-Force 23. Like, it's like, well, he is apparently some sort of insane now.
Yeah. We worry about wee Tom a little bit.
Yeah.
And there is other things that Hickman's touched upon in House of X and Powers of 10, where it's just like Xavier has these cradles set up, and I think there's up to 6 of them. But at one point, he mentions that the system, basically any telepath can delete their own memories. There's different things they can do with the backups and their own memories as well. So, I mean, Xavier could even erase his knowledge of the 6th cradle on top of that. I mean, there's so many different ways that they can go with these things that it's impossible to really tell.
Yeah, because it's such a... And I think that's another one of the things that's like kind of wild too, is that it's like it's such a crazy big idea concept, like that. Yeah, I mean, let's spend some time really examining it and talking about it.
Warlock. With Warlock around, you just know that the Phalanx shouldn't be too far behind. The Technarchy and all that other stuff is still looming out there somewhere.
Yep. I hope we get some character development of like Chimera, stuff like that, because one, I just really like their character designs, like but I hope we delve into that, where we get to that point, I guess, where we're seeing
Priest and Rasputin and Priest, you mean?
Yeah, like from Powers of 10 and
Gotcha.
House of X stuff. Because I mean, they mention Chimera and Hellions, right? So.
Mm-hmm. And I was gonna say, Thatch, there's an easy reset button to all this with just killing Moria and resetting the timeline, but I don't know. I actually want them to stick around with this for a while. Let them build their little mutant nation and
Mm-hmm.
try to have the X-Men go out there and be heroes. And I don't think I can deal with going back to the school.
Well, it's been so long and they've gone through so many different iterations at this point that it's like, it would be pretty hard to just be like, all right, now we're just going to go back to school. Yeah. I mean, you could sort of pass it off as a, like, everything old is new again kind of thing. Like, oh, it's been so long, but in reality, it kind of hasn't. I mean, Wolverine and the X-Men days aren't super far behind. But yeah, it's if they can keep this up for a long time, I have no problem with it. But I'm just sort of preparing myself for when they decide that, we're just we will do the reset button. Also, Wolverine was good again this month.
Yeah.
So yay.
And Marauders and Hellions, which
Yeah, Marauders with that Phil Noto art. Come on.
Yeah.
Get out of here, man. Yeah, there's so, I mean, obviously we didn't touch on everything this month.
Yeah,
But again,
Onslaught
how could you?
Inferno. Yeah. Onslaught and Inferno alone is just so much. An hour's
Yeah.
not long enough, which is why I stopped the timer, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to just do like a quick fire down the line of what we have left?
Oh, why not? It's not much. It's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 books.
So yeah, Excalibur 23. It's back to getting weird again. You know, we're just like, I don't know where this is going.
But Doctor Doom, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Doctor Doom, though, yes.
So yeah, I'm still pretty. I feel like it's not as weird as it had been. It's close,
Right.
but it's a little easier to follow this time around.
It's a different flavor. I'm okay with it. We have enough other books to, you know,
Mhm.
fill those other needs, those other main X-Men needs. That this little fringe book, it's okay. I'm not. I don't hate it. It's not my top of the stack, but I don't hate it.
Right.
Yeah, no, and yeah, you're right. It really is sort of, yeah, if you really dug like all the old Alan Moore, Captain Britain stuff, if you really dug, the old school Excalibur, Claremont stuff, then yeah.
And okay, next is Hellions 15.
That one up because that book has just been. Zeb Wells has just been killing this.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid good.
Yeah.
We got Tarn, of course, who is a character in of himself, and he's just he's a sinister variant. He's like very close to that smarmy, self-righteous, self-absorbed, like Sinister is.
Yeah. I want to see Tarn versus like High Evolutionary or something like that.
I eventually would love him.
Yeah.
He'd love to pick
And
him apart.
can we talk about how how what's his name can take pieces of his
Grey Crow.
Yeah, Grey Crow can take pieces of his bionic stuff to make one giant gun.
Or anything he wants.
Yeah, because it used to be like I remember, like back in the day when he just had like a bodysuit of like gun parts. I know I was always a little. I was like, all right, so like he just basically Legos guns together really fast.
Yeah.
Like that's his mutant power. Like what the fuck? Like that's weird. The whole like he can make it out of himself basically.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. And also too the whole amino fetus.
Yeah.
What it like atrocious and like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Gross.
It's so, but it's pretty wild though.
Yeah. Agreed. Never thought this this would have been like a favorite book ever.
Mm-hmm.
But it is.
And it definitely feels like it is sort of reaching its natural conclusion.
Tearing shit down.
Yeah. And what a cover. Gorgeous cover.
Yes.
Okay, next is Marauders. We mentioned Marauders 24.
In space.
Yeah. In space.
I will say I loved like everything about this book, with the exception of like the weird
Lando
ambiguous ending.
Okay.
Well, no, just like with
the
them
Lando
getting
guy.
sucked into space. I was like, oh, so are they just gonna? Because again, this is one of those things where it's like, are they just gonna be dead and have them brought back to life? Again, kind of like the end of Hellions. It's like, oh yeah, is gonna be just Havoc blows up and
They got Kitty there. That's a real quick fix. You just everybody daisy chain, hold hands, and Kitty will phase them and bring them back inside.
Yeah. But yeah, Kmart Lando Calrissian is
Yeah.
it's pretty that's pretty wild. But again, it's just like, oh yeah, apparently there's like a shitload of aliens that do business on Mars now.
Mhm.
But we also finally get the answer of where Emma got the damn spaceship from, because that's definitely appeared back in was it X-Force? Whenever they were fighting the Russians
Right.
after Kitty, I think it was after Kitty died. I think she had that spaceship, so we get that answer here.
And everybody loves Peeps.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's like it's so funny that it's like his mutant power is actually just being adorable.
Yeah,
apparently.
just being everybody's friend.
All right. What do we got next? Is it
Wolverine
Rain,
16?
which, I mean, it's solemn. It's his story, his side of what really happened to him, which is of course different than Severin.
And I mean, at the end of it, we have a mini nest thing.
Let's call it what it is. It's Solemn's fuck palace.
Yes.
Well, I think he meant the cerebral backups and stuff, or the cerebral cradles that he has.
Yeah, and yeah, because
he has like a mini resurrection chamber.
And he has eggs for Proteus of all people.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very, very very, very worrisome, since Proteus can alter reality. So, but back to your point, Thatcher. Yeah, it's yeah, it's pretty screwed up what Solemn is up to, and even sleeping with Krakoa of all things, and having a thing for Wolverine.
Honestly, I think that's great. Like, that's the thing that you don't really see in a lot of like male, like mainstream, like hero villain dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that it's like, I mean, the closest you get is the James Bond where what's his face, the Spanish guy, is rubbing up on James Bond's legs, and he was like, "Ooh, what happens if I touch you here?" And James Bond's is like, "You think I've never been touched by a dude before? Come on, bring it. Let's make kissy faces at each other." And he was just like, "Oh, goodness gracious." But like aside, like you don't really get that sort of like weird sexual tension that much. And so I think that's cool to have that be like, Wolverine and Solemn button heads with each other, and Wolverine constantly like, "Oh my God, can you stop? I'm serious. Take your hands off me. Stop touching me, please."
Flirting from the very beginning. He was flirting.
Yeah.
Why are you so obsessed with me? I mean, we've already acknowledged, like, it's canon, like the X-Men be swinging.
Yeah. Again, like,
they are about that life, if you will.
Definitely some of them. All right, so
is that the last one?
No, we have X-Corp number 5, which is
it
feels like it finally got to the point of what they were trying to do. Really explaining or building Jamie Madrox up and talking about the company. 5 issues may have been a bit too long, but I think near the end it picked up and it got better, and it got to where it needed to be.
Yeah, like I guess when it got to, like, at the beginning of this book, I'm like, all right, okay, like we got some action going, we got some kind of purpose, and then again you kind of bump back to the business aspect of it, business and politics of it, and I'm just like, I just don't care.
I mean, I think I applaud them for going like, all right, let's test the waters with this.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do this. And then to them equally be like, okay, well, if we want to do this again, we're probably going to have to do it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I admire the effort, but
Hmm.
it didn't do much for me. Like it felt like a chore to read. I'll
Yeah,
be
a
honest.
little bit, a little bit.
All right. I think that's it.
Sorry, I'm reading Sage Log's book about Solemn, and it's just
Mm.
he really, really wants to fuck Wolverine.
Yeah, I love that.
Then again, he really, really wants to fuck everyone and everything.
Yep.
I didn't know you could fuck Krakoa, but he found a way. I mean, shit, just dig a hole. Like, it doesn't seem like, find a knot in a tree, like it's the whole island, man.
Solemn has had sex with those eggs. I'm just gonna say it.
Probably just on those eggs.
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
not with. Definitely adjacent.
I wouldn't put anything past him.
Like those, for all we know, those could be Krakoa clones.
Yeah. I do also like how Wolverine um, brings Emma Noseless McSpiderface's boat.
Yeah,
Hmm.
separate.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The D&D named guy. Um,
And who so like where were the diamonds are back, right? The diamonds are
yeah, they're somewhere. They're
on
somewhere in the
Krakoa.
fuck palace. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's just about it.
Yeah.
What a month! What a month! These next 2 months are just gonna be fantabulous.
Hmm.
Yeah. So tune in to EMX episode 100 and
100.
yes. And we'll need to do something special. I don't really know or know if we have time to plan something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like um uh yeah, maybe we can have Tribe 1 on. I think we were kind of talking about that.
Yeah,
Um
we can definitely give it a shot.
we can yeah, I don't know, like what were your favorite X-Men episodes or EMX episodes if you for our OG listeners or just favorite storylines that we've covered,
Yeah,
something like that.
great.
Yeah, you can email us emp@earthsmightiestpodcast.com, or you can join our Discord or Facebook group and let us know. earthsmightiestpodcast.com is the website. Thatcher, where can people find you?
You can find me all over the place, but specifically, you can find me on your favorite social medias like Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr at Demon Weasel. You can also find me. I as well do the Patreon, so you can sign up there for, get a newsletter plus some free previews of what I've got going on, and Patreon exclusive stories and fiction too. Patreon.com/Demon Weasel, or all of that stuff put together, and my announcement email list, sign up and all, and my store and all that jazz at demonweasel.com.
We are in the month of Spooktember, Thatcher.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you got some spooky books
Yeah,
that people
yeah,
can
I
look
do.
into?
I do the spooky books. Spooky book. Yep, yep. So definitely spooky books, spooky stories, the whole spooktacular line.
All right. Yeah, for me, comedianviet.com is my website, at comedianviet on all the social medias, and I stream on Twitch where I work on toys and paint miniatures.
I'm the talentless one of the group. You can just find me on Twitter at EMPcast. I was laughing because I just remembered the X-Men issue where Cyclops was telling the dude, like, I had him right where I wanted him, and he was getting choked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you better run.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, Pepe Larraz, man, artist. He might be artist of the year this year. He's just,
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of, I don't know, would you say he's like almost like the Stuart Eminem of this era, this age?
probably.
Mm,
Eminem was killing
that's
it.
that's a bold claim, but I can see it. I can definitely see it.
Where the hell have they been anyway? The Eminems.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like they're doing an Image thing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get out of here.
Yeah. If you're on the Twitters and you want to find our podcast and a bunch of other comic related podcasts, go to the collective net, the hashtag the collective net, and you can find us and a bunch of other podcasts.
Do it, nerds.
Yeah. And with that, we will call it a month, and we'll see y'all on episode 100, where we talk about the books of October and maybe do some other stuff. We'll figure it out.
Indeed.
All right. And for the folks listening on Twitch, thank you, and I will be on tomorrow morning working on some toys. All right, ending stream now.